You played the song. You let the song go.
I know.
Play the song.
It's kind of somber now, huh? Well, it was
It's
always
kind of sad a little
it
bit.
was always somber, but we.
I mean, this
made
is a
something.
sad song.
It's a very.
If you
somber
listen
song.
to the lyrics, it kind of is a sad song.
100%.
Which, I mean, we could talk about like the backstory of this song too, maybe.
Sure.
Do you know the backstory of this song?
Probably not much.
Well, I've heard a little bit of it. Is Kyle Schwarber brought it over from Chicago or wherever the fuck he was playing.
Okay.
So Schwarber brought it over because one of his buddies or one of his teammates, nobody was going to the games.
Okay.
So and nobody was watching this guy hit or something. And this is
He played this.
was his intro song. I forget the guy, but it's definitely a Schwarber song.
Okay.
Schwarber brought it over, and the Phillies took on to it.
That's interesting.
And it flew away. So, fact check me, but it's kind of the Schwarber thing.
Well, I'm sure somebody in chat will fact check you.
Yeah, fact check me, please. Where they at?
What is up, everybody?
What is up? We didn't even get to the chorus line.
While you were talking over it.
Well,
You want me to play it again?
Put it louder, and It's about the 45-second marker.
All right, we're at like the second verse now. Hang on.
I miss it.
There you go.
I miss it. There's nothing better when the Phillies. I went to 2 games. There's nothing better having the fucking Phillies win and being there and playing this song.
I know.
What's Gambone saying? Look at this guy. I can't read a paragraph on here, dude.
So, Boner's asking that Ernie wants to know if you want to do an escape room.
Oh my
Go to-
God!
An escape
you guys
room
are
at
hunting
7
me down.
in KOP, and then
Jesus.
Yard House at 7:30, and they said I can come too.
Okay, I'll think about it. Thanks.
Thanks for the invite, Boner. I
Thanks for the
actually.
invite. I'll get back to you. No, I won't. Go ahead.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new From the Hill
I'll hit you.
podcast. Swag's here with Earl.
What's up?
Earl's getting propositioned to go out and hang
Yeah,
out
I'm
later.
getting invites and shit. Yeah, I'm a pretty popular guy over here.
You are a
know?
popular
I mean,
guy.
what can you do? Hey, man, they really want to hang out with me. I'm just like, hey, I'm a popular guy.
You are a popular guy. So
I'm a fun time, good time.
You're a great time. So
gotta
obviously,
be.
we opened there to Dancing on My Own. Unfortunately, it's turned into a more somber song because the Phillies end up coming up short in the World Series against the Houston Astros. Obviously, we're going to lead there. That was just huge news the last 2 weeks around here. Obviously, last podcast, we talked about their playoff run, and it's come to an end. Earl, give me your thoughts. Just how do you feel about the season, the playoff run, how the World Series went? Tell me what you're thinking.
I mean, I would say it was a really good season. It wasn't great, because if it was great, they would have won the World Series. So I would say it was a really good season.
Okay.
They gave us a lot of good moments. They won 3 hell of a series. I mean, it came to a point where we thought they weren't even going to make the playoffs, and then they
Very
rattled
true.
off 3 playoff series wins.
I agree.
And then, when they got to 2-1, we had 2 more games at home. I think what happened with them, they got a little nervous. Their butthole puckered up a little bit, and they were like, dude, and like the nerves, the pressure really hit at home, saying, dude, we could fucking win this thing. And then when that happened, they just were like, shit the bed.
Well, I got a feeling that after Game 3, this city thought the series was over. Did you get that feeling? Because I did.
I was like, dude, win 1 more of these games at home, and then we got a real shot.
I agree with you. I knew that it wasn't, right?
I mean, it looked...
But the city was, like, celebrating like we won the World Series after Game 3, and I'm like, guys, it's 2-1.
And we spanked them, what was it, 7-0?
5 home runs.
In the first game at
the bank.
Oh, that was amazing. Like, I mean, it was, it showed that they could do it, and, like, we had the momentum, and it just, like, the wind got out of the sails.
So, Gambone, all right, so I'm going to talk about Turner being a Philly in a little bit, so hold on that one.
We're going to relive the playoffs for a second.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Horses.
We're going to get there to that. And then I kind of agree with you, Ross. So Ross is saying that the 5-home run game was one of the worst things that could happen because the guys got all pumped up, make them feel a little lazy. They're not pressing. I kind of agree with that. I do think it was pretty rough for the way they won that game because it felt like they won everything, like the series was over. Right, and it was like, guys, you have a lot further to go here. It's only 2-1.
Well, plus I don't know the guy's name, but this guy, I've said it before. People in person. That one guy that brought out in Game 4 with the no fucking hitter, that guy threw 2 pitches, and a fastball and a slider. They couldn't touch.
They couldn't touch him. So
Couldn't touch him.
of course, the Astros come back in Game 4 and no hit the Phillies. No hit the
Yeah.
Phillies.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, that guy hasn't pitched against these guys, and then that one guy pitched, and he just demolished them. And then the bullpen came in, and they couldn't touch him either.
Nope.
And it's just like, come on, guys, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean,
And go ahead.
offensively, the last 3 games, from Game 3 on in the series, the Phillies offensively were pathetic.
Yeah, they
So,
were like the Yankees.
They set a record for strikeouts, most strikeouts in World Series history.
Well, the Yankees had a lot too, right?
Well, yeah, they beat the Yankees.
I know.
They're number 1.
And 4.
The Phillies this year had 71 strikeouts in the series, most ever.
Yeah, you know what I hated too with that whole damn series? With Verlander and Kate Upton. I was fucking sick of it, man.
What? How could you be sick of Kate Upton?
Dude, she's so annoying. It's just like, shut up. And Dusty Baker. Oh, my God. They couldn't show Dusty enough.
No,
They could have showed Dusty, like, oh, Dusty. Oh, Verlander got his first win. I was sick after that game.
So they did show a lot of Dusty. I mean,
Oh, my God. It's like, dude, okay, I get it. I'm not.
you'd think that. I mean, listen, Dusty has been managing for 90 years, and it's great for him to get his first. Obviously, it sucks that it was at the Phillies' expense, but I understand a lot of the Dusty coverage. So I mean, it's
they
whatever.
showed Thompson maybe one time, talked about Thompson one time, and it was the big Dusty and Verlander show. The game. Well, whenever Verlander pitched, it was the big Verlander and Dusty.
Right.
And then they had Kate Upton cheering in the front row. If I was there, I would have threw a battery at
Well,
her.
you give Philly fans a bad name, Earl. You're one of those guys.
I mean, I don't have that much money to get down there, so I wouldn't have been there.
So she did actually. I saw on social media, got into it with somebody and was like giving him shit.
As she should have,
Oh,
or
yeah.
as we should have.
Wow.
I'm like, can somebody throw something at her, please?
Okay, so Gambone.
What does he say?
Gambone is calling for Hoskins to get moved down the lineup. So, all right. Now, I didn't want to go here yet because I wanted to talk about the series as a whole, but I do want to talk about Reese and the way that series went down, and I defended Reese last podcast. Not going to defend him again, but what I am going to say to you is if you're hitting 2 or you're hitting 5 or you're hitting 7, it doesn't matter. I mean, Bone, you think it's Reese Hoskins' fault? Bryce, our starting shortstop, didn't get a hit the entire World Series.
I was going to say they all suck.
So
they all were
everybody.
They all were striking out.
Everybody wants to blame Reese Hoskins.
I'm not blaming them.
Our shortstop didn't get a hit the entire fucking World Series. Like, come on, guys. You want to blame Reese Hoskins for the whole fucking series? Go for it. But you're wrong. Our right fielder is dog shit.
Yeah, he did not.
So I don't want to hear that it's all Reese Hoskins' fault. That narrative is tired. And you guys can blame Reese Hoskins if you want, but that series wasn't on Reese Hoskins.
What I do know, he came up clutch a couple times, though.
Yes,
a couple big homers.
I mean,
he
dude,
got us the World Series. Yeah, he shit the bed. Just like half the fucking team. Well, the whole team did.
Yes. So
and the pitching. Oh, that's another big thing with Zach Wheeler when they brought him out, man. I was pissed when they brought him out.
Okay, so that
there was like the 6th, 7th game,
right.
And the last game.
So Ross just put in chat, it's like
there's Gavin.
You're right, and every time like they show Rob Thompson, they're getting no hit and he's like frustrated, and when they show Dusty, he's like happy as guys are getting hits. They did play that card up a lot. Like
it was
Rob
so
Thompson's
annoying,
down,
man. They couldn't I won't say it.
All right. So, okay. I gotta have to talk about it because everybody's talking about Trey Turner. The Phillies are not getting Trey Turner. I'm going to put it right there.
I say we get like Carlos Correa or something.
Yeah. So listen, here
or DeGrom.
All right,
we're DeGrom.
So all right, we're already into the sweepstakes here, but let's talk.
People want to talk about.
All right. So here we go. So the Phillies are not going to get Trey Turner, and I'll tell you why. Because you've already got a contract like that on the books, right?
Yeah, it's
huge.
Well, I was seeing like an 8-year, $280 million.
He's going to want 10 for 300 plus. He's the best shortstop in the league. He hit 320 this year.
DeGrom wants like 3 for like 70.
Yes. So
I would love DeGrom.
It doesn't matter if Turner wants to come here, Bone. There's no way they can afford to pay him. Now,
well, they can't afford him. Montgomery just got to pay him.
Well, do you think Montgomery is going to pay $60 million in luxury tax next year?
I don't. It's not.
The
Phillies,
not my
problem.
This ownership's not going to pay $60 million in luxury tax. they cannot afford to bring in another 10-year, $300+ million guy.
Thanks, Gambo.
Bryce Harper is already that guy. You just gave Castellanos a bunch of dead fucking money, and we're stuck with him. So here's how this is shaking out.
Well, they don't have a cap.
There is no cap, but once you go over, you have to pay the luxury tax, right?
Okay.
So here's the deal. We have Segura's coming off the books, so that's 18 mil, and it's pretty much assumed that we're not going to re-sign him. I would maybe think about it.
I mean, honestly, you know what I think they're going to do at second base? They're going to put that kid Nick Mattoon there and try him out at second base.
Well, then, so that would mean they don't bring in anybody.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do.
Okay.
I say they get another arm like DeGrom. If they get 3 big arms, I think they're fucking set with the kid at second base.
Well, so the idea with bringing in there's 4 big free agent shortstops out there. Turner's the biggest name.
We got the kid. We got the shortstop.
We got Stott. Well, the idea would be you move Stott to second, and you bring in a big name shortstop.
He's a fine shortstop.
I think he's a fine shortstop too.
He didn't make one error, and you have Sosa still, right?
All right, hang on. Let me look at.
And you have Sosa.
Let me look at.
So we got Sosa.
We still have Sosa. Yeah, I mean Sosa's a fine defensive shortstop.
I don't know why we got to pay $300 million for a shortstop.
guys. So, Bone Post in chat. Why did the Mets and Yankees do it, guys? I don't think you guys really understand how this works. Okay, look at these payrolls right here. Okay, this is this year
Dodgers,
right now.
Mets.
So
number 4.
Right. The Phillies are already number 4 in payroll this year, guys.
If we take on another huge contract.
We are going to be number 1 by a long shot. It's not
can't
that.
Do it.
Listen to me, guys. It's not that you can't do it. It's that once you hit a certain level, you hit the luxury tax and you have to pay more. If the Phillies get there, they're at almost $200 million right now, right?
Yeah.
If they get over the luxury tax, and they dump the 18, but they bring on the 30 and the 40 and the 50, they are going to be paying $60 million a year in luxury tax. The ownership's not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
We got to pull some Billy Bean shit out for a little bit here. Let's buy runs. Can we please? I was just watching that the other night. That's why I brought it up. I mean, why do we got to pay top dollar? We already are paying top dollar.
Well, yeah.
We can't scrap a couple good players from the farm system.
By the way, every time you bring guys in, I know it looks great. How's Castellanos looking? How do you like that? How do you like that?
We paid
sign?
a lot for him too, didn't we?
Yes, we did. How do you like that?
He
sign?
made a couple nice plays,
dude. Okay, I heard too much of that. Those were fine plays, but a decent right fielder or a good right fielder catches them without sliding and diving. Like,
yeah, he's a little slow.
Our corner outfielders defensively are butchers.
And Brandon Marsh
and Hoskins is awful at first base.
Yeah, I totally hear you.
Like,
on that,
our defense is bad. We're a bad defensive team.
Yeah, we played pretty good our standards in the playoffs.
We did. That's true, but that doesn't change the fact that
Alec Baum.
The Phillies are a bad defensive team.
Alec Baum picked it up.
Yeah,
he did. These guys made some plays.
Well,
I mean, Alvarado coming in after the Wheeler thing, that pissed me off. I just
listen. Here's the thing.
Alvarado shit the bed.
Well, that's a tough spot to come into.
Well,
twice.
Well, what was it the last game? The game 5, the game 6. He came in for Wheeler when there's a man on what, first and third?
There was a man on.
He came in the night before and bases loaded, and
right.
he gave up 5-6
well,
runs.
He beamed them right away.
Yeah, he totally screwed that up. So then Toppers thought it was a good idea to bring him in the next night when Wheeler I thought could get out of it. And he.
I agree.
And it was a home run, right?
Yeah.
The first batter hits a home run. It's just like, oh, well, there goes the game.
I would have left Wheeler in.
I would have left Wheeler.
So Gavin's saying that is his job. I mean, it is his job as a reliever, but it's really tough. I would have liked to have seen.
He blew it twice, Gavin.
Yeah.
2 nights in a row.
I would have liked to have seen him both Game 5 and Game 6.
And Anthony Serminguez,
Serminguez,
whatever his fucking name is, he shit the bed 2 nights in a row too.
Serminguez,
Toppers loving these. Well. Those 2 guys got him there for sure.
They did.
They got him to that situation. But when it mattered, I don't know. Well, plus with Thompson, he was pushing all the right buttons.
He was for a while.
Oh, every series up there.
I totally
and then the
agree.
last couple games, we just hit the fucking wall.
So Boner's saying that Stark and Morrissey are saying that Turner wants to come here and the Phillies are going to go after him. So, and you're also saying Castellanos had 1 bad year, and we're staying pat. So you said 3 things. Let's talk about all 3 of them. First, let's talk about staying pat. I don't think we're going to stay pat, right? So, one, I don't think the Phillies signed Segura. I think they let Gene walk, right?
Well, he's already walking.
Right. So, I don't think they're just going to let him go.
He's done.
Right. They're not going to enter to re-sign him. So now you've got a middle infield slot that you can work with, right? And there's a lot of high-profile free agent shortstops. I just don't think that Turner's going to be the one.
No, I don't think so.
Right
either. Like I
now, there's other parts here though, right? Because Bryce Harper is probably going to have surgery, so we might miss him till like May, which means we're stuck in the corners at least to start the season with
Castellanos
and
same outfield
Schwarber.
we just had.
Right, but
What's the big deal?
You can tell me that Cass had one bad year. It was a horrible year.
You know, I just want the Grom. That's who I want.
So Gavin just said what I said. Did Castellanos make good defensive plays, or is he that fucking slow? He's that fucking slow. He's that fucking slow.
He made him look good.
He made good plays, but a good right fielder catches those balls without sliding, bottom line. And I'm glad that Nick got to them, right? But neither one of them are good outfielders.
Who's the one? Who's the right fielder from the Padres? Soto. He made a couple blunders out there.
Well, sure.
He messed up.
I agree.
That didn't happen with Castellanos.
Well, no, but the thing is, with Soto, you take it because Soto's giving you offensive production, right? And Castellanos
he
is not.
was good at offensive production, too.
So,
Castellanos was like jabbing hits out. Well,
Boner's bringing up names. I love Xander. I would love to see the Phillies go get Xander Bogaerts.
So whatever Boner says, they're not going to do.
No, I love Xander, and that's who I would go after if I'm the Phillies because I think the price tag is right. And I think he's a good fit. I would love to go get Xander Bogaerts.
Well, for second base.
For sure, and let's stop play second.
Yes. Well, I want to go in the books right now, my prediction, that it's going to be Stott at shortstop, Baum at third. They're going to have that kid Mattoon play second base.
So you don't think they're going to get anybody?
No, I want
to see him get an arm. You want to go see
I
him
want to
get
see
the Grom.
him buy some arms.
You want to go see him get the Grom.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. And
can we talked about this?
DeGrom will be sick. Imagine Wheeler,
that's
Nola, and DeGrom. Dude,
nasty.
We're fucking back.
That's nasty. And so, can we talk about another high-profile free agent? We sort of talked about it last week, but let's revisit Aaron Judge.
Oh my God, he wants like $320. He wants like $330 million.
Do you think he stays with the Yankees?
No, what did I say like last week? Was it the Red Sox? Well, I mean, whoever's going to pay him, that's where he's going to go.
Well, the teams, there's really only like three.
Can the Yankees pay him?
Well, yeah, they can, but there's really only like 3 or 4 options, really, I think. It's
what
the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Yankees.
Yeah, but the Mets,
maybe the Red Sox.
But the Mets are losing DeGrom.
The Mets have money coming off the books.
Yeah, so they could get.
They could do it.
Pete Alonso and Aaron Judge, that'd be pretty cool.
Be crazy.
I mean, I don't like the Mets, but good for them.
Bone, I mean, I do think that it's like, and the Giants are in play. You're right, Bone. I do think that you can have the same lineup, right? But you do need to move pieces around a little bit. And to be fair, we're stuck with Nick Castellanos. Like, we're stuck. We have.
I thought he played okay,
dude. Do you need me to look at his numbers this year?
I mean, he underperformed. That's for sure.
He
came off a hell of a year in Cincinnati. I'm not debating that he underperformed of what he did the year before. But, I mean, you paid the guy. It's baseball. You hope he has a better year next year.
Listen, he's here. We're stuck with him.
He's in a slump.
Right.
Why are the Giants in the mix?
We're stuck with him. So, this year, we'll compare him. Last year, he hit 309.
With the Cincy. What did he hit
with the
this
Reds.
year?
Right, I'm going to tell you. So last year he hit 309. He hit 34 home runs. He drove in 100 last year.
Last year, yeah, he had a hell of a year. That was a good year.
I mean, it's an incredible year. He was an all-star.
Yeah, and this year
he
had a down year.
He hit 263.
Okay.
He only hit 13 home runs and drove in 62. His on-base percentage last year his where's his on-base? His on-base percentage went down over 60 points. His on-base percentage is 305.
Well, next year's another year, man.
Bad. That's bad.
Well, how many years did we sign him to? Several? A few?
I think 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think this is year
back.
1 of 4. Oh, he's coming back. So, okay. So
I mean, I don't more bitching about him. Like, he's coming back. He's going to play. He likes Philly. We made the World Series. There's some nice things that happened. I mean, I'm a positive guy over
so
here.
Then let's go back to Reese because Bone brings him up. So everybody wants to trade Reese.
Well, for what? Well,
right.
We're paying him dirt cheap right now,
correct.
aren't we?
And this is the thing. So he's arbitration eligible, right?
He hit 25 plus home runs this year, and he hit a lot of home runs in the playoffs.
So I'm pulling up his numbers now. I'm pretty sure Reese hit 30.
Yeah, he's a power hitter, and he showed it. Yeah, he struck out like everybody else did in the World Series.
Right. So
Reese
sucked. Okay, Reese this year.
Better arms.
Let's look at Reese. All right, Reese.
That's what I'm saying. That's my final answer.
Reese this year, Reese hit he hit 246 this year.
Break.
He hit 30 home runs. He drove in 79. Listen, first thing you got to remember with Reese. Now, I'll give you the drawback in a second, but
The Giants.
here's what you got to remember with Reese. He's a career 242 hitter. That's where he lives. And that's it. Like, he's not going to hit 250 or 260. Reese Hoskins is going to hit 240. But here's his years with the Phillies. Ready? I'm going to run them down for you home run wise.
Make it happen.
So his first season, obviously he went crazy. He only played 50 games, so he hit 18. We won't count it. So 2018 he hit 34 home runs. 2019 he hit 29. 2020 he was hurt, so it doesn't count. 2021 he hit 27. Last year he hit 30. Dude, he hits 30 home runs every year. Now what was down this year?
hitter.
Right. What was down this year is his on base percentage because he didn't walk as much. But that's been the last 2 years. I think everybody's forgetting because his on base percentage was 396, 364, 384. But the last 2 years, it's been 334 and 332. But comparatively, we just said Castellanos' on base percentage was barely 300. So Reese is like, I don't know why everybody wants to crucify Reese.
I mean, Gambone wants to do a lot, you know.
Oh, I know Gambone
He wants
to
do a lot, man. I don't know if I'm down for that, you know. It's just like,
Sosa,
keep it simple, stupid. You made the World Series. You did something right.
I don't care.
You did something correct.
I agree. Listen, Bone, I'm going to tell you this
They
straight.
should win more games the regular season. I agree. But they got in. They took advantage of it. You know, the team grew a lot. The city grew a lot.
They
with
went
the
on a
team,
run.
and everyone's having a good time.
I agree. Listen, I don't give a shit about errors at first base. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude.
They put Hatterberg at first base because you know why? Because he gets on base.
He gets on base.
He-
We won Hattie at first.
Yeah, that's who we got.
We
batting
won-
240.
You can't-
No, we had the guy hitting power.
No, Eric, you can't play Pena tonight.
Can't play Pena.
Why not?
Because I traded him.
You traded Pena.
He's an all-star.
I don't give a shit about defense at first base. You think Jim Thome plays good defense? You think Ryan Howard played good defense? I don't give a fuck about defense at first base.
Reese Hoskins won us, legitimately 2 games.
Yeah, I don't want to hear shit
in the
about defense
playoffs
at first base.
with
I
his
really
home
don't.
run power. The one that one bat spot, he won that game for us.
Yes, he did.
You know, and the one against the Padres, I was at that game. He had 2 home runs. He won that game for us.
Boner, how is removing Reese, and we're going to move on because we could argue about this all night, but how does
move
removing
on.
Reese from the
I'm ready to
lineup
move on.
and putting Bohm at first and putting Sosa at third improve the lineup? Sosa does not hit.
Yeah, he's fast.
Sosa does not hit. Sosa is a career utility guy who's a great utility guy to have on the team
he was a
who
good
can
utility
play all
guy.
infield positions, but he doesn't hit.
They
Don't give me Sosa.
They put him in against the lefties, I believe.
Yeah.
That's why they took out Stott.
That's right. Well, and they also took Stott out because he didn't have a hit.
Yeah, wow.
Listen, I love Bryson Stott. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I use him as an example. I kind of crucified him because everybody's crucifying Reese. But, like, our starting shortstop had 0 hits. Like, come on, guys.
No, let's blame Reese Hoskins.
Yeah, it's all
Let's
Reese Hoskins'
trade him,
fault.
release
Yes.
him now.
Get rid of him.
All right,
Get him
what's
out of
on
here.
next on the book?
All right, so I got a fun game I want to play
know
with
what's
you here,
next?
Earl. Now,
Happy hour.
here's the thing.
What?
It's very. I looked at a statistic and I went and got all the numbers for it. So I want to play this game with you. I don't want you to cheat. Don't check my phone.
I can't
So-
see that. You got a book written over there.
The question now is, can the Phillies get back to the World Series next year and potentially win it? Right now,
No.
Well, right. But now, do you realize how difficult that is to
They
do?
need another arm.
You realize how difficult that is to do in the four major sports, right? It's very difficult, except for one of them. One of them, it happens quite a bit. The other 3, it does
Basketball?
not. That's correct. So it happens quite a bit in basketball. But let's talk about the other 3 first, okay?
Football, it's rare.
And it's very rare in baseball, too.
Look at the Rams this year.
Right. So the team that loses in the championship in the 4 major sports come back to win it next year. I went back to 1980 and I took all 4 of the major sports,
Phillies.
major pro sports, right? And I looked and said, okay, so how many teams have lost in the championship and come back the next year to win? So we'll start at baseball. Ironically enough, the Astros just did it. The Astros lost the World Series last year.
Well, nobody
right?
likes them, so fuck
Came
them.
all the way back and won it this year. So then,
Screw them.
Then before that, the last time it happened was the Kansas City Royals. They lost the World Series in 14, and then they came back and won it in 15. And then previous to that, the last time that it happens, post 1980, And the reason I picked 1980 is because, one, we weren't alive before then, and two, you go back before then, I feel like a lot of the talent was more bumbled together, so teams did like more of that. You know what I mean? Like, so I went post 1980.
Okay. I mean,
The old
no one's gonna argue with you.
old Oakland Athletics did it, and they lost in '88 and they won in '89. That team was like Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco,
like
Ricky
Raleigh
Henderson,
Fingers or something. Right?
Dennis Eckersley. Like that was all those A's. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that it's only happened 3 times in baseball since 1980.
It's pretty good.
So now let's talk about the NFL.
Sure.
So the NFL, the most recent time that it happened was actually the Eagles were involved. The Patriots, they lost to the Eagles in 17, then came back and won it the next year in 18.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, so the Patriots just did it recently. We can't have this conversation without talking about the Bills, right? Because the Bills
4 times
made it
in
to
a
4
row,
straight,
right?
but they didn't win any.
No,
unfortunately.
they did not. The AFC just sucked, and they couldn't beat the NFC.
Well, and let's not sell the Bills short.
Or
That
they couldn't
team-
beat the Niners.
Well, let's not sell
Or
that
the
team
Giants.
short, or the Cowboys. That
Goddamn
that
Giants.
team was really good.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean that Bills team was really good.
Jim Kelly,
they
for
just
sure,
couldn't
yeah.
quite get it done. Hey, Dan.
Yeah, I mean they had a hell of a run. They had 3-4 guaranteed Hall of Famers.
Yes.
You know, Bruce Smith.
Yep. Jim
Kelly,
Kelly,
Thurman
Thomas, Andre Reed. I mean,
Andre
they had
Reed.
Don B. They had a lot of good players.
Oh yeah, they had a hell of a draft class, and that's what happens.
So and then prior to the Bills, that was it. No other team does it prior to 1980.
They always have an off year.
So realistically, you can just say like basically 2, right?
Yeah.
We'll give the Bills it because 4 straight is impressive.
So what
but-
are we saying here? The
there's
Phillies
3
aren't going back to the World
Well,
Series.
hang on. So there's 3 in baseball. There's 2 in the NFL. Let's talk about NHL.
So you're telling me we have a chance?
Let's talk about the NHL. So the
I don't know
NHL,
shit about it. Go ahead.
the Penguins lost in '08. They came back and won in '09, right? Then the previous to that, so that was Sidney Crosby and the boys, right?
Okay, sure.
Previous to that, the last time that happened was the Edmonton Oilers lost in '83, but then won in '84. That was the great one.
Wayne Gretzky?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was a great one.
I
It's
love
only
Wayne
happened twice in
Gretzky, the great
NHL.
one.
So now here's where it gets fun. Let's get into the NBA because these are fun. When I go back over
All
these,
right.
you're going to remember these, right? So NBA most recently,
I put a lot of work on these people.
famously, right? The Warriors and the Cavs, 4 straight finals.
Sure.
And each of those teams traded, losing and then coming back and winning because Golden State won the first one,
They
and then
had- yeah.
Cleveland came back 1-2, and then Golden State took 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So they kind of trade that. So that was interesting. Now, here we're going through like the pantheon of LeBron. So the Spurs did it. They lost to the Heat in 2013.
Tim Duncan era?
That's right.
Okay.
They lost to Braun and D-Wade and Bosh, but then they came back and beat them in 14. They played in back-to-back series, and they won in 14.
A lot of information.
Right. So before that, the Heat did it. Before that Spurs series, they lost to the Mavs. They lost to Dirk and the Mavs in 2011,
Yeah.
right? And then came back and won it in 2012. They beat the Thunder. They beat Kevin Durant. They beat
Yeah. he's
right.
saying,
I
don't
see.
talk about my
Smitty
Bills.
said, "Don't talk about his Bills." Listen,
Well, they had a good run. We were
Smitty,
complimenting them.
I give that team a lot of respect.
We were like, dude, they had 5 Hall of Famers.
I mean, I think that to take a step back, I think that Bills team gets shit on too much because they lost 4 straight.
They are 4-time AFC champions.
You know how impressive it is to get the 4 Super Bowls?
Dude, I bought the NFC, oh, not the NFC, NL, National League Championship shirt.
Sure.
They got 4 of them over there in the
It's
Bills,
a,
but
yeah.
the NFC.
I mean, it's
So,
a big
you know,
deal. Like
They
it
did
is
something.
It's. I know. As a Bills fan, it's devastating.
You know, they raised the
right?
economy by like a half a point.
But think about it, and let me ask you this question: as a Bills fan, we sort of lived it here, like miniature-wise, with the Eagles in the NFC Championship games, right? But they didn't get to the Super Bowls. Is it better to have that? Is it better to have that team that gets there every year, or have your team suck? Like, would you rather be a Bills fan or a Lions fan?
yeah, I know. I'd rather
be a Bills fan. I'd rather
be the Bills
Right.
fans.
They're good
They
teams.
win football
Yes,
games.
they're exciting. They're fun. They're good teams.
Yeah,
What do you have
they're
to look
winning.
forward to if you're a Lions fan?
You know, fantasy football.
Right, that's it.
I mean, they score a lot of fantasy football points.
Right.
And that's about it. Or it's like when they're going against Detroit, hey, start that guy against them.
Right.
That's about it.
Right.
That and Amon St. Brown, the Sun God.
So
That's about it.
Smitty agrees. Right. So he'd much rather get there and suck. I think everybody would. So to wrap up my conversation about the NBA teams with how that happened. So then before that, we're going way back to when the Utah lost 2 straight to the Bulls.
Oh, yeah, the
right.
Jazz.
The Jazz lost 2 straight
John
to the Bulls.
Stockton, he was a beast.
The Pistons lost in '88, won in '89. That was the Dennis Rodman, the Isaiah Thomas, like the bad boy
Yeah.
Pistons, right?
Yeah,
Before that, the Celtics lost in '85. They won in '86. That was Bird and the boys. And then the 76ers lost in 82 to the Lakers, came back in 83, Dr. J, and beat the Lakers.
There you go. I wasn't alive then. I wasn't even a thought, but it did happen.
I was close.
I was in what? I was like -6 years being alive.
Yeah.
-6.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the Sixers were good. They had Dr. J, like you said.
Yep.
And he was good at basketball. And they had Moses Malone.
They did.
Moses Malone.
Yes,
That's a
did.
good name drop. And Maurice Cheeks.
No Cheeks.
I know my
Those
shit.
Sixers were those were good Sixers teams.
Oh, what's his name? Who was the white guy? The head coach, Doug something. His name Doug. Who was the head coach? Oh, the Sixers, like in the thousands.
Oh, recently?
Yeah, Doug.
Oh,
something,
yeah,
right? Well, he was on that team too.
He was on that team. Fuck yeah.
I'm just showing you my knowledge over here. I got plenty.
Fo. That's right, Gavin. Fo. That was the Fo 76ers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
They won in '80, and how about the Sixers? Since I'm on the Sixers, they don't look too good, do they?
No, they don't.
They don't.
So let's talk
luckily
about
for
them.
them, the Eagles are really good. So the attention's not really on them.
That's true.
So
They're off
lucky
off to a rough start.
and they're lucky that the Phillies had their shit, and the Eagles are 8-0, and the Sixers suck. Then again, it's not over yet. All they gotta do is make the playoffs and just don't suck in the playoffs. That's all they gotta do.
Listen,
they're gonna make the playoffs. I'm like, nobody's worried about the regular season. And
Thank you.
B's gonna have a great season or a shitty season.
Right.
I mean, he's not gonna win the MVP regardless.
No, I agree.
You just get to the playoffs and just
Yes.
maybe we'll get lucky and get out of the first round.
I agree. And listen, it's so early in the NBA season. Like,
Yeah.
They play so many games, and literally, I mean, I did actually see something today that the Lakers have to panic because they're 2-9.
Dude, is Russell Westbrook still there?
Yeah,
That guy sucks.
dude, they're a dumpster fire.
I mean, he just like throws up bricks all day. I don't watch it. I mean, I see replays of him, and I'm like, dude, this guy stinks.
The Lakers are
LeBron
hilarious.
stinks too.
Listen,
I see highlights of LeBron, or like what's the opposite of highlights?
low lights.
Low lights. Thank you. I see low lights, and I'm like, that's horrible, dude.
Anthony
I mean,
Davis.
like, they call LeBron the GOAT after that replay. I mean, MJ had none of them.
Listen, dude, LeBron's 38, and
Is he 38?
He's 38.
Holy shit!
I gotta say,
we're getting older.
I called this when he went there. I said he's gonna go there. He's gonna get a championship or two. He got one.
Well, he got one.
He got one.
So
And
the
then-
COVID year, I don't even count.
Right, the bubble. And then that he's going to gut that team because you're going to have a bunch of aging guys. Anthony Davis looks like he's done.
Well, he's getting
They
traded,
gave up
isn't he?
all their young talent. LeBron's going to end up leaving that team a fucking disaster, and that's what's happening. So I hope it was worth it. I hope as
one
Lakers
championship.
that one ring was worth it.
Well, look at the Rams, I hope that one championship was worth it. They traded all that draft capital
Yes.
for all those guys, Devon Miller,
look at them this year.
Odell, and that dog shit.
So let's talk about the NFC. We talked about this a little last week, but now we have another weekend. So I'm going to give you teams, and we did this a little last week, but I want to do it again. I'm going to give you teams.
Okay, give me a team.
Tell me if they make the playoffs. Let's start with the Rams. Are the Rams making the playoffs in the NFC?
Fuck no, they stink, dude. I was, I even said on this podcast, like, dude, they're gonna come back and they played somebody, and they did beat. I think it was Atlanta. They did up beating Atlanta, and after that, man, they just can't get it going. Their only good player they got is Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
He's the only good player they got. He's the only one that wants to make any plays.
They stink.
I mean, yeah, they stink. They have running back problems. Offensive line's old, or it's all free agent. Linemen.
Oh, yeah.
All their guys retired. They were so thin.
Whitworth retired.
Yeah, I mean, and the right tackle, and like watching the games, I'm like, dude, Cooper Kupp's the only guy that's any good.
Yeah.
That's the only guy making.
He's
plays.
all they got.
They don't make any plays.
So how about the Falcons? Are the Falcons making the playoffs?
Oh, that's possible. 50-50 chance.
I mean, they look.
Even though they got beat by Carolina last night,
Yeah,
but I
it's a
mean,
division game.
I mean, let's just say
Thursday night division game.
Tampa Bay loses to Seattle in Munich, Germany. It's possible. I mean,
Right.
If Tampa loses, they're still in the hunt.
Totally agree. I mean, all right. How about the 49ers?
Do they make the playoffs?
They make the playoffs. Seattle.
So
If Seattle
Seattle's 6-3.
If Seattle wins this week, they're running away with that division.
For sure, I think so too. And who do the Niners have this week? Do we know?
I can check.
On top of your head?
Yeah, I can check.
But I mean, they got CMC. He's playing really well, and I mean, like I said, I know Seattle's playing Tampa and Munich, So if they win, they're 7-3. They're 6-3, man. It's crazy.
I know. How about Geno Smith?
Geno Smith is like, I mean, who would have thought that he's a better quarterback than
got it.
Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson stinks.
Russell Wilson.
I mean, he totally is just, fantasy football radar, anything.
I mean,
just being a crazy guy.
He's
horrible.
Like way further over the top than I thought.
Now, what happened last week? Didn't they go over to London and play a game?
Yeah, they did.
Did they win that?
Denver. I'm not sure.
I'm asking too many questions.
Yeah, I'm trying. So who was I looking at? Who are they playing this week? Who are we looking at?
We're looking at the Falcons record. Shit. Chat.
Well, we'll just go. So Seattle's playing Tampa Bay. That's a big game.
We were talking about
right?
that.
That's
NFC
overseas,
South.
right? So Minnesota and Buffalo play this week. That's kind of a big game.
Yeah,
it's in Buffalo.
Minnesota's a nice line,
right?
Or an underdog.
So, Detroit is Detroit. I can't believe I'm going to ask this question because I really thought
make the playoffs. No,
not making the playoffs. Is Detroit the worst team in the NFL?
I want to say no. Houston is.
I want to say no as well, but I every time I want to say no that Detroit's not the worst, that they smack me in the face with being.
I mean, I wish I had the numbers right in my face, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they just beat somebody that was decent.
They did. They beat the Packers.
Yes.
Are the Packers making the playoffs?
Fuck no.
They stink.
I mean, I want to see Aaron Rodgers come out and say RELAX, relax.
Yeah.
And he won't.
He won't.
He's gonna say panic.
So the Texans technically have the worst record in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're 1-6-1. They play the Giants this week. What other good games are out there? Oh, well, Dallas and Green Bay. That's kind of a big game, dude. Green Bay is 3-6.
Yeah, they started off
The
decently
Packers
well.
are 3-6.
They started off decently well, and they're in a good division. I mean, so Minnesota's what 7-1.
Minnesota's 7-1.
7-1. Yeah, the division's over. I mean, the wild card.
So here's big games. There's a stretch of big games right here because there's team seasons on the line. The Cowboys in Green Bay, 4:00 in Green Bay. If Green Bay loses and go to 3-7, their season's over.
Yeah,
okay?
I would say so.
Next,
how about? Oh, did you mention the Bears?
Yeah, the Bears are playing the Lions. That's why I brought it up.
Oh, yeah. That's what
right, the Bears are playing the Lions.
I want to talk about Justin Fields for a second.
Go for it,
dude. I mean, I think
all those running yards. Are you enamored?
I mean, I am enamored. Last week, I mean, I had Lamar Jackson fantasy just to why I'm following this guy because
Sure.
I could not give a shit about the Bears or Justin Fields if it wasn't for fantasy football. But in numbers and wise, and last week he had a day.
He had a day,
and the Bears were scoring points and shit. And
by the way, I think he threw for like 120 yards last week.
Was it
ran for like 180? I'll check.
And he ran for he broke the single game record
sure,
for a quarterback.
Right, I'm pretty sure he ran for 180.
He ran for 178 when he get technical.
Right, and I think he
but
only
still
threw for like 120.
I mean, Miami's defense stinks, but he's scoring points. And the one thing about him, he is fast.
He's very fast.
And I'm like, dude, why don't you run with this guy more?
He's dynamic,
and they are. You know, so we'll see what happens with Detroit. I mean, Chicago's not out of it yet. I think they're 3-6.
Chicago's 3-6,
they're
but
not out of it yet.
If they lose,
they can go 500.
If
or
they
one game
lose to
under
the Lions this week, they're done. If they go to 3-7, they're done.
Yeah.
So last week he ran for 178. He threw for 123. I was right.
Wow. I mean, he put up 56 points in fantasy football.
Yeah, well, because the running looks so good, right?
Yeah, I mean, plus he broke like a 60-yard run.
Yeah, he did.
I'm saying he's fast.
He's very fast.
He runs like a 4.4, man.
He's very fast.
So they look good. I mean, they got it. I mean, he's going to stay healthy. I mean, he's 24, 25 years old. He looks good.
So here's a game at 4:00 Sunday to bury one of these teams in the NFC West. The Cardinals and the Rams in L.A. Whoever the Cardinals are 3-6 and the Rams are 3-5. Whoever loses that game, done.
But here's the thing with that game: Matt Stafford might not even play.
If the Rams lose that game, they're done.
He's got a concussion.
Yeah, if they lose, they're done.
Yeah, so the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals might win that division too, maybe.
Well,
if they win,
I don't know how they're going to win that division. It's Seattle, dude.
Yeah, well,
Seattle's 6-3.
Well, you said make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs.
They may make the playoffs.
They may make the playoffs.
They got Hopkins back. I mean,
so that's
James Conner's back fully.
That's a big game for that division. And then we were saying who the Niners play this week.
Yeah, that was it.
The Niners are 4-4, and they have the Chargers at home. Chargers
that's a good game.
That's a great game.
And
that's a Sunday night.
Well, they're favored too by like 7. The Chargers are big underdogs.
Yeah, well, that's a Niners line.
Well, it looks like a Chargers line to me.
What? Because the Niners are big.
I always like taking the points. I like the plus
dogs.
points.
Right, but I'm talking about just straight up winning the game.
Oh yeah, like
that's
money line,
right,
yeah,
that's
for
a
sure.
Niners line.
Uh-huh.
And then of course Monday night, the 8-0 Eagles host the 4-5 Commanders.
We're home on that. We gotta fucking.
We are home.
Well, what is that like? 12.
It's a big.
12 and a half.
It's 11 right now.
11.
It's 11.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, that's not really a
they
big
got
game.
Heineke?
I mean,
No.
because if the Eagles lose, Washington
we're
will
not
be 5-5,
losing that.
and the Eagles will be 8-1. Who gives a shit? So like, I mean, I'm not saying the Eagles are going to lose, right? I'm just saying that game is not that important.
Well, you were talking about the game, and I heard a good interview. I mean, are we allowed to promote? I'm not promoting other podcasts.
It's fine, go for it.
But like, Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey,
they're
and
great.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they're great.
We're on the podcast.
Yep.
New Heights. I listened to that shit. It was fucking gold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jalen Hurts is the man. Jason Kelsey's
Jason
the man.
Kelsey's great.
And Travis is great too.
Travis is funny.
He was on a bye week last week and flew to Philly. Did the podcast. The whole thing's great.
Yeah.
So we got to get Jalen Hurts on this podcast.
Yeah, we do.
If we get Jalen Hurts, man, that's what we need.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, so I mean, Jalen Hurts looks great, but he like really opened up a little bit too, which was cool to see because usually he's just kind of like not like a robot, but he's kind of just scientific to what he says.
Yeah.
Don't open up the personality too much for the people. But on there, he was having a good time with the Kelseys, and yeah, it was cool to see. And the Eagles, I don't know, man. I think we sacrificed us not winning. I forgot to say this. The soccer championship,
The Union.
and the Phillies championship for an Eagles Super Bowl.
It's like sacrificing a goat. It's the
Stuff
sacrificial
like
lamb.
that.
Okay.
And that was a tough day for us too, man.
That was rough.
That was a tough day. The Union were on the game before that. The Union were on like during the day.
I watched the penalty kicks. It was horrible.
Dude, we were like 2 minutes away from winning the whole
give
shit.
it up.
We were up by one.
And
some guy
in
that's
stoppage
supposed to be
time.
retired, the
In
guy's
stoppage
fucking
time.
washed up on another team in LA. And which is, real quick, I was saying this at the bar when I was watching it at. I'm like, why, if this is like the fucking biggest game of the MLS Cup shit, biggest game, how come it's not in a neutral site? How come you don't have it like a Dallas Cowboys stadium or something? Why do you have it at the home team?
I think because
So they're home because they have the best record. That's why.
I think I can answer.
But why
that.
not? If it's like the Super Bowl soccer, how come you don't put it in neutral site?
I can answer that.
Well, educate me.
Because the sport is not big enough here yet to have it become an
I see
event
why it's not.
where both teams would travel, right? Like so to make it an event. Because if you do it, let's say, because it's LA versus Philly,
Let's
right?
just say we went to
let's
Dallas.
and let's assume we went to Dallas, right? That means both cities' teams would have to travel to watch the games, right?
And Dallas was like, I don't fucking want to watch
Right,
this.
and who the fucking Dallas gives a shit about LA?
So
right,
they're gonna play the biggest game of the year with nobody there watching.
correct.
All right.
So that's why they don't.
Shit.
Maybe in the future, it is gaining popularity. Maybe in the future they do,
It's
but that's
growing
why they don't.
popularity in Union because we were just there.
Well, yeah, but not overall. in
But
the
that was
city.
tough because
Just for that.
they were up by one goal. They were in stoppage time, up by one goal.
I know.
And then in the fucking penalties,
Dude, the penalty kick.
We just stuck.
Bro,
We
they
just
were
sold. We just lost
embarrassing.
it. It was just
The
bad.
first three penalty
It was
kicks
like, what the hell?
were
are you doing?
embarrassing.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it
was
was
bad.
awful.
And then the Phillies got beat up. That was a tough day for Philly.
That was rough.
That was a tough day.
That was rough.
Oh, it was. It was. But it happened.
So I had something else I wanted to bring up in the NFL.
No, bring it
Frank
up.
Reich got fired.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Second coach to get fired this year.
Oh yeah, and Jeff Saturday.
So Matt Rule got fired in Carolina, and
All Philly guys.
yeah, Matt Rule, former Temple head coach. Matt Rule got fired in Carolina,
Yeah.
and our boy Frank Reich got fired in Indy. So Jeff Saturday's taking over as the interim coach. That's interesting. There was interesting press conferences that he had.
He's a leader of men.
He
right?
is a leader of men. He's an interesting guy. I got to tell you, he's kind of an endearing type of guy. Like you hear him
Sure.
talk, and you're like, kind of like this guy. So we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colts suck, right? And
I mean,
they took a shut on Matt Ryan. We
Well,
thought
I mean-
we
okay,
thought
go
the
ahead.
Colts had a great roster coming into the year, right?
Fuck yeah.
Apparently they don't.
their odds of making a play, dude. They like it was like minus
I know.
like
and they're in a
200 to make the playoffs or
bad
something.
division. They're in a bad division. I mean, the Titans are an okay team, but
Titans are
The Jaguars-
Titans are like the only team in that division.
the Jags
that,
are up and coming, and the Texans might be the worst team in football.
I mean, well, they got Mike Vrabel, and he knows how to coach football. He does. I mean, he's a smart coach. He gets the shit done every year.
But
last year they had the number 1 seed.
But they have Tannehill.
Well, they got him number 1 seed last year,
Well,
and they have Derrick Henry the King.
They got
well,
King
last
Henry.
year they had A.J. Brown.
They don't have him anymore.
Yeah. So back on the Frank Wright thing. Do you think Doug Peterson will sign him to be his quarterback coach?
Sirianni wants him to come in here.
No way.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Sirianni
Where'd
wants
you
to
hear
bring
that
him in.
from?
I heard it today.
Really? What, on the internet?
You know that yeah, on the internet. You know that that Sirianni was mentored by Frank Reich. Like Frank Reich.
Yeah.
So
Frank Wright was mentored by.
Frank Reich mentored Sirianni.
Okay, I got it.
So he'll be here before it's very soon.
Really?
Yeah, he'll be something here. He'll be assistant to the.
I would think.
What does Dwight call himself in office? Assistant to the regional manager.
He's assistant to
Right.
the regional manager.
He's going to be in here as the assistant to the head coach, not the assistant head coach, the assistant to the head coach.
But you got to pay this guy. He's a head coach.
Nah, you don't got to pay him shit.
He's like, dude, you
The
want
Colts,
to
the Colts still owe him the rest of the season.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
the rest of his contract.
Rest of his contract. Just because they fired him, he's getting paid.
Yeah,
you can bring him in here for $50,000.
It happens
bring him
a
in
lot.
For peanuts.
It happens a lot. A lot of these guys get fired. I'm like, dude, what's the one? There was a big one that just happened. Some guy got fired for Gruden happened.
Well, Gruden, yeah, but Gruden got his contract terminated because because of
Matt Rule then. Matt Rule,
yeah,
that was the one.
Matt
Rule had all this money sold out.
They owe
He's
him.
like, all right, fucking fire me. I'll take a break for however long.
I mean, that guy can get any college coaching job he wants, or coordinator job, so he's fine.
Yeah, that's what Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule. But no, Frank Reich, the Colts are paying him, so he can come here and just help Nick out. He'll be here.
Help Jalen out. Well, you don't want to make it weird, you know.
No, you don't bring him in to be the quarterback's coach. You bring him in to be an extra set of eyes. He's just going to come in. He's going to help Nick. You know, a lot of the guys on this team know him from when he was here,
I mean,
right?
As you can obviously see, they're doing pretty good already.
Sure.
They don't need Frank Reich.
But, so you're saying you don't want him?
I'm not saying that. I don't want them to bring him in and be like, oh, here's.
You're very superstitious. You don't want to upset the apple cart, huh?
Well, the apple cart. Just don't mess up something's aligned correctly here. Something's going right. They're doing something correct.
So I'm saying you don't mess up the apple cart.
Bring in
If you
Frank
get it out,
don't bring in bad juju. You just got fired. Take a fucking year off. We don't need you. Why aren't you working off? We don't need you on the sidelines because then he's going to go on the sidelines.
Well, maybe he won't. Maybe.
And here comes Chris Collinsworth says, "Oh, there's Frank Reich." On the sidelines, he just got fired.
Chris Collinsworth.
I can just picture this shit happening.
Okay, I could see
He's
that.
Like, Philly picked them up. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like we don't need that fucking attention.
All right,
we're fucking 8-0 for a reason.
I can see where you're coming from, but I'll tell you this: I can tell you with you heard it here first. He's gonna be
next year.
No, he'll be here this year.
Fuck.
Bet me.
Yeah.
He'll be here.
Monday night.
Yep.
Does Chris Collinsworth does Monday night? No, he doesn't.
Nah.
He does Sunday night, doesn't he?
No, I don't even fucking no. Sunday night is Troy and
Buck
now.
Is it?
Yeah, Sunday night. Or no, they do Monday night now. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah. Well, I do watch the Eli and Peyton shit. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're
not
too.
bad. I mean, it's like weird when you watch the game with other people that don't watch Peyton and Eli. Like, dude, what the fuck is this shit?
Hey, who are these guys?
And I'm like, do you like this? You don't like listening to the game? I'm like, all right, I'll switch back.
So, you got a pick you like this week? Any plays you want to make?
My pick last night was the under of the game,
which is, by the way, always a good call on Thursday night.
Yeah,
always. If you bet every single year the unders on Thursday night, I think it hits at like a 59 to 60% clip.
I have a couple other under picks, dude. I hit on unders. Like I hit on unders.
Well, unders are the bet.
I'm about to change my name. Underdecided.
Underdecided.
Yeah.
I like that. Not the undecided. The under.
Yeah, because I was undecided. I'm about to underdecided.
Underdecided. I like it.
Because I always hit on unders. Like they always happen.
Okay.
So, the game. If I had to pick a game I'm going to bet on the Munich Germany game, and
so that's Seattle and Tampa Bay.
I'm saying Tom's going to win that game by
outright.
By a field goal. Yeah.
Outright.
I think it's like 2.5.
Okay.
So and they are favored. So I'm saying they're going to win by 3 points.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So that's my pick. But I got some under shit.
Okay.
So who do I go for the unders? Oh yeah, so I saw this shit on the internet, and I'm a big under guy, and it's saying under shit. There's a line over 9.5, or we'll say plus 10, like plus 10. It always hits the under. It's happened a lot of times. It happens 3 out of 4 times.
Yes.
So one of those games is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
But that's 50.5.
That's a big number.
That's a big number. I'm saying under 50.5.
Okay.
I'm saying that. And you got the Commanders in Philly.
And you like that under as well?
I like the under. That's 43. I think Philly's going to, I think they're going to come out first half, beat the fucking shit out of them, be up 21-3, and they're going to coast.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They coast in the second half. They've done it all year, and they're going to hit the under.
I like those plays.
So that's my call with the unders. So what do you got?
So my games, I got 2 dogs to watch this week. I like Detroit to go into Chicago and win that game outright.
You're saying Chicago's going to go in
Detroit's going to Chicago.
Yes.
And
okay.
I think Detroit wins that game outright.
It's very possible.
I think Chicago's riding high. They're smelling themselves. Justin Fields rushed for 1,000,000 yards last week.
He's going to have a shit game.
He's going to have a shit game, and Detroit's going to go in there and win that game outright.
Detroit just beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, so
yes.
they're riding high
They're
a
riding
little bit
high.
too.
And Detroit's better than 2-6.
I like that.
So they're going to go in there. And a game to watch. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I like them to cover. I don't know if they win outright. Jacksonville in Kansas City.
Yeah, I like
think
that
Jacksonville
game. That's a big
keeps it
game.
tight.
Yeah, so do I.
I think Jacksonville keeps it tight.
Nice little prodigy and what do you call it?
Yeah.
Coach.
I like it.
The prodigy.
Yep.
Andy Reid.
And Dougie P.
Dougie P.
Yep.
Nice little prodigy.
So those would be
coach
like
thing.
my dog specials. And then
I'm looking forward to that game.
And then I think so. The favorite that I really like this week is I actually like the Eagles to cover, and I won't bet it, and I won't tell you to bet it because
Why you tell people to?
I'm just telling you that I like it. But I don't. You can if you want. I don't bet the Eagles games personally. That's my rule. But
I do it when it's not a minus. What?
minus 11.
Minus 11.
I like the Eagles
points.
to cover. I think they win by a lot.
Well, I mean, it's very possible.
They
Like I
win
said,
by-
I think they're gonna be up by 21
I think
to
they
3,
win by 17.
or 21-10 first half, and it's gonna coast. I think
Yeah.
they win by 10 points actually,
I
not
think,
11.
I think the Eagles win by 17.
So maybe want to bet the Manders.
Yeah.
To lose, but to cover by 11 points.
You like the cover. So we'll go head to head on that one because I don't like the
Oh,
cover.
I mean that's not my pick.
I know, but it's fine. We didn't put anything on the line. We even put dinner at Mendy's up.
I mean, I told you my pick. I
Yeah.
like the unders.
You
And
got your picks.
Okay.
I'm just saying we'll go head to head on that one. You like the Manders to cover.
But yeah, I have the Manders to lose
Right, to cover.
by 10 points.
Right, and I'm saying that the Eagles will cover the number of 11.
They're gonna beat them by 14.
I think they beat them by 14 plus.
Yeah. I hope it happens.
That's it. We are getting out of here.
It was fun.
It was
Enjoy your
fun.
Friday night.
Thanks, everybody, for hopping on the live feed. As always, don't forget, all the From the Hill podcasts are live on our platforms once we are done. YouTube, Spotify, and the iTunes podcast application. Search _the_hill. Put it in quotation so you don't miss it. Check out Earl and my social media accounts. We're on TikTok putting our clips up.
On TikTok.
We're on Facebook. We put
on
our
the-
reels on Instagram, all that shit.
I'm on undecided.
The underdecided.
Wait, I'm about to make
Gonna
the
change
underdecided.
to the underdecided.
Because I hit the unders, man.
He loves
I
his
gotta
unders.
do it, man. So yeah, follow From the Hill, and you can follow me if you want.
Follow Eric if you want as well.
Undecided 24197 on the TikTok. We're
That's
getting
it.
big on the TikTok. I'm
On
trying
the
to go live on that
TikTok.
shit. Might as well.
Hell yeah.
You know.
But that's it. Everybody enjoy your
Yeah, it was
Friday
fun.
night. Enjoy the slate of games this
Be safe.
weekend. We're out of here.
All right, peace.
Peace.